very, very, very small number. The majority of us, our lineage goes to the black aboriginal people here. And we know that. So the bandana will be great for your locks, yes it will be. But listen, because we talked about this before. James Small talked about this, Brother Phil Valentine talked about it. Remember, Africa is a kind of fluid place. A lot of people moved around. A lot of the people who were in Egypt, they would move to different areas. This is an old civilization, so their descendants would move out. Some of them will move to Europe. Some of them will move to the Middle East. They would call some of these people in certain other countries the descendants of them, even though they mixed in with some of the Europeans. They call them gypsies to this day. Gypsies, that's a play on the word Egyptian, but that's, when you talk about gypsies, it's like a wandering tribe of people, okay? When we look at the word gypsy, that's wandering people. We gotta understand, a lot of people who came out of Egypt were pushed into West Africa and captured because you were a foreigner there. They would take the foreigners first. When the slave trade started with the Arabs, then the Europeans and the Portuguese and all these people, they would capture and take the foreign people, the foreign black people there first. And put them.
Yeah, peace and love, family. Once again, man, you tuned in to War for Peace. And once again, man, Tariq is at it again. Now Tariq is claiming that black Americans, the ones that got brought over here through slavery, were Egyptians. And they traveled through, when they got ran out by the Greeks, that they moved all around, they got spread it out, and they went to West Africa, and the West African only transported them and sold them because they wasn't their people. Now, this is crazy. Like I said before, Tariq will speak a little bit of truth, but then to make his narrative stick, he will say one of the biggest, craziest lies. So it's only to make his narrative stick. So the truth was that the Egyptians did get ran out by the Greeks when the Greeks took over. A lot of those people that were black did leave Egypt and spread it out. Most of those people now that's in West Africa and all these other places, a lot of their DNA was linked to those Egyptian mummies, right? So those are the people. It's not like they were different. He's trying to make it seem like it was two different people and that the West Africans sold them because they were different than them. That's crazy. But anyway, then he also claimed that they're indigenous to America, to the Americans, and we heard that. And for some reason, these followers of ADOS and FBA have the notion that it was borders that existed back then. You know, those borders are new. The borders through Mexico and the borders, period, even across the sea. Those borders are brand new. There was no borders before. So America and South America was always open, right? There was no such thing of borders. There wasn't even Mexico. Mexico is a new country. Mexico haven't even been around for more than 400 years, 300 years. Mexico is even a new country, right? So this is the question I have. Name an indigenous people that's black, with melanoid, dark, that's black like us, because we already know a lot of the light skin come from the mixing with Europeans through slavery. But name a indigenous black people that live in the snow. Name a country, name a place, and we're not talking about the movie Wakanda when that tribe lived in the mountains in the snow. But name a place, because we know that North America, half of North America, most of North America is cold. It snows, especially in the mountain range, but especially all on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? And we got a lot of places in the woods that, that where it snows. And the Mongoloid type, which are the Indians, lived in the snow. They created clothes for the snow. They ate buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Even, that means if black people are saying that they're indigenous, black people were buffalo eaters. You know, Indians have a very, very strong connection with the animals here in the North Americas, like with the wolf. You know, that a lot of spiritual thing goes, a lot of spiritual. I can't even come up with a word, but it has to do with the wolf. You know what I mean? So, black people we will still have that connection, because even though the European took mostly all our culture away, especially in North America, if we still on this same land, there's no way that they can take everything and we don't remember nothing. If we still on the same land, we will still practice some of those rituals that the Indians do, right? And we will be wearing the same clothes. Like I say, they use buffalo. Not only did they eat the buffalo, but they used the skin for clothing because it was so cold, for jackets and all that. So did we use that? They built tents. So now you're saying that black people lived in tents. Those tents were specially made to keep out the cold, and it was almost like igloos, but it wasn't made out of igloos. It was made out of skin. You know what I mean? To keep out that cold. So like I say, name one country or place to where black indigenous people live in the snow. Not even in the Caribbean, there's snow. It snows. That's why most blacks stayed there. They don't want to live in no snow. Even the blacks in the United States complain about living in the snow because it's cold. We're tropical people. We need the sun. So when you sit here and say that, oh yeah, we was already here in North America, and we know that mostly 80% of North America is snows and it's very cold, and we know that we didn't develop no type of tools or clothes for that, that right there just kills your whole thing that you're talking about. It kills it all. Unless you can name where we lived at where it snowed. Unless you can do that. Because now nowhere in Africa where black indigenous people live it snows until you go more east. Northeast. But in the South, man, it don't snow. We don't live in the snow. So how could you be indigenous to North America when most of it is cold? If anything, we was in South America, where it's more tropical. Man, come on, man. These people will say things to make their narrative stick. Tariq, now you reach it, man. To make your narrative stick. All that 6% that you got from Dane Calloway, because he's another one that's spewing out this we indigenous to this land. He keep coming up with these fake documents. He already been debunked by so many people. You know what I mean? These are just people that don't want to be who they really are. This is the problem. And we also got to talk about the foods, because most of the foods that's in the United States today was imported. Rice, beans, a lot of the foods. We already know that, like I said before, the Indians ate buffalo, they ate corn. When the Europeans was out here, they were, when they first came out here, they was starving. They almost died of starvation until the Indians taught them how to grow corn, because that was indigenous to this land. Corn is a vegetable that can grow in the cold and still be without dying, and still harvest during when harvest season comes. So that was one of the vegetables that can survive in North America. So we gotta look at this. We gotta look at everything. We gotta look at the food, the clothes, everything, the environment. So how did black indigenous fit in this? How? There's no way. And that's why I say in the Caribbean and South America, all the way down to Brazil, that's more tropical, to where you can grow more foods down there without doing anything to the soil. It's just natural. They have to do a lot to this soil in North America because of the weather. To this day, Most of the food that we eat, the soil is a lot. Monsanto's and a lot of these things that we eat today won't even be able to grow over here without them putting things in the soil. So I want to know, where does it snow at? Where does we fit in North America? You keep saying that we're only 6% came over here and the rest was here already. Millions of black people was over here already. Where at? And how does that fit into the question that I asked? Where do we live at in the snow anywhere else?